Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. So we are now in the final 2 weeks of the magical readathon, and for some reason this month has just flown by. I feel like I've been kind of on track with my reading so far this month, but now that we only have like 2 weeks left, I'm like, oh no, I really gotta get reading. So last week I started my reread of Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the April Shadowhunter read-along book. So making my way through this, I'm on chapter 6, page 127. So not super far, but hoping to read a lot of this, if not finish it this week. I would love to finish it this week. I'd also love, once I finish this, to pick up my final graphic novel for this readathon. I have the Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill left to read, and I'd love to get that in this week as well. And then we'll kind of see where my reading goes from there, because after I finish those two things, I only have one book left to read, and that is Pachinko, and that's going to be a buddy read with Casey and Darian. So depending on if they're ready for that, I'll read it after I finish these two things. But if they're not ready to start Pachinko when I'm ready to, I might pick another book to complete the prompt for the readathon that I picked Pachinko for. I still obviously will buddy read Pachinko with my friends when they're ready, but I just don't want to have to wait to the last minute of like the month to complete my final prompt, if that makes sense. So I might pick a book for a backup plan for the prompt that I was picking Pachinko for, just in case that buddy read doesn't happen in time or we don't finish it within the month or whatever. The only thing is that I counted Pachinko for, I don't know what class it is, but it's a book that intimidates you prompt. So I feel like it was kind of a clown move to wait until the end of the month to do the intimidating read prompt. But it's fine, we'll figure it out. I feel like intimidating doesn't always necessarily mean a big book. I feel like that's the most common way people view that, but I feel like there's a lot of things you can do, whether it's the content of the book or a genre you don't really read, or I was even thinking there's books that I've had on my physical TBR for a long time that are kind of intimidating just because I've had them for so long, or books that I own that I haven't heard the best things about, so now I'm scared to read them. So I definitely have options, a backup plan, just in case Pachinko doesn't end up working out for the magical readathon. But we'll see. Obviously, that's a hypothetical situation. What if they're ready to do the buddy read tomorrow? Then everything will be fine. So we will just have to see where the reading takes me, Darian, and Casey. But the main plan, Clockwork Angel and then the Tea Dragon Festival. I would love to get these two done this week, and we'll see. Because we also have Heartstopper coming out this Friday, which is so exciting, but obviously, I'm going to be watching that. Not going to be reading when that's happening. But I have a feeling I'll probably end up watching the entire show on Friday, so it's only going to be a day of me being distracted from reading, but I'm so excited for the show. It's going to be so good. But yeah, that's my plan. I just wanted to enter this vlog, let you know the reading plans for this week, and hopefully we can get everything read in time for the end of the readathon. So I am now about halfway through Clockwork Angel. I think I'm actually a little over halfway. I'm on page 248, which is the start of chapter 11. And so far, I'm still loving it, still having the best time. I also don't think I've really given much of a summary of this book. I think I just assumed everyone knows what this series is about because it's so popular, and also I feel like I talk about this series all the time. But just in case you do not know, I will give a very, very brief summary because I'm sure people have heard what these books are about plenty of times. But you're following Tessa, who her brother invites her to come and stay with him in London after the passing of their aunt. So she travels to London, and when she gets there, these two women are kind of there to pick her up for her brother. They're like, we have this note from him, come with us. And Tessa's like, this seems kind of sus, but okay. And she was right in her assumptions that it was sus because she kind of gets kidnapped or like held hostage basically at this place for weeks and weeks, and she is kind of forced to learn how to use this like ability, this power that she has that she didn't even know that she had. So Tessa can, if she's holding like the object that belonged to someone, she can transform herself into them and like have access to their thoughts. So these women are basically training her to use her power to kind of prepare her for this man called the Magister. And eventually she ends up getting saved, like she ends up getting rescued by the Shadowhunters, and she begins to learn more about the Shadowhunter world and why like she might have these powers, and if her brother's involved, like what happened to her brother, and just kind of learning more about the Magister and what he wants with her. And also there's Will and Jem, who add the romantic love triangle element, and I know people hear love triangle and go, nope. But this is like the best love triangle that I've ever read. I feel like there's another one that I really like, and it's also by Cassandra Clare. So like Cassandra Clare pops off the love triangles. I don't know what to say. But yeah, that's like a very, very brief summary, I feel like. I just feel like I didn't really explain what this book about. I just assumed everyone would know. But again, absolutely loving it. Having the best time rereading this series. I just find this series in particular very comforting. I don't know why. I think it's just like I just love these characters, and I don't know, I just love it so much. I find like the Shadowhunter world, I think, kind of comforting in a way. As wild as some of the plot points in some of the series are and how stressful they can be, I also find it comforting in a weird way. And I also kind of regret not annotating this book, because there have been so many times where I've been like writing down quotes or like taking pictures of the pages, and I just wish I was annotating, but I don't think I want to annotate these copies. I have another set of paperbacks with the original art, and I feel like if I were to annotate this series, I'd probably do it with those ones. But I wanted to read the newer, like reprinted editions, because when we've been doing the Shadowhunter read along, me, Casey, and Darian have noticed that there's been like some changes between all of the different editions. Like I have the most recent like printing, I think, out of all of the ones that we all have, and there have been things in mine that are changed from the original, or just like things that have been completely taken out. So I wanted to read the newer edition of this series in case there are changes with like the original copies that like Darian has. So that's why I'm reading this one, but I also wish I was annotating because I'm having the best time, and there's just so many like great moments. There's so many funny moments, but there's also so many things that I feel like are already hinting at things that happen like throughout this series, and also there's things that I feel like are hinting at things that may happen in the Last Hours trilogy or like connect to that series, which is, if you don't know, the Last Hours trilogy is following the children of this series. So I just feel like it would be such a fun time to annotate, so I kind of regret not doing it, but I think I want to know if there's like changes in the new reprinted editions more. Like I definitely want to see if she's done any changes with this series as well. So that's why I'm reading this one and not annotating. But someday, I'm sure I'll reread the series again at some point and then I'll annotate then. But yeah, a little over halfway through this. Definitely planning on finishing it over the next couple of days. I think I'll be able to do that. I think I have like just over 200 pages left. So I think I'll be able to do that over the next couple of days, and then we can move on to the final 2 prompts of the readathon and that I need to complete for my career. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to give a halfway point check-in and also give like an actual summary of the novel, and hopefully I can finish it before the Heartstopper show comes out, because I feel like that would be a good thing to have done before that show comes out and it takes over my life, you know? So maybe that is my goal, get Clockwork Angel done before Friday when Heartstopper comes out. I think I can do that. So it is now Wednesday evening, and I just wanted to give a little quick update because I finished reading Clockwork Angel earlier tonight, and Surprise, surprise, I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, like I've said like multiple times when talking about this book, it's one of my favorite series, definitely a comfort book and series for me. So obviously I had a great time, gave it 5 stars. I maybe think there could be things that I could be a little bit more critical about, but also like, I don't know, like there's not much. So honestly, 5 out of 5. I'm giving it to myself too. I haven't had very many 5 stars this year, so I'm just happy to add one to the very short list. So yeah, 5 stars, absolutely loved it. Was so interesting to read it, knowing everything that happens, because there's so many like little like passing lines that you're reading it for the first time, you probably wouldn't pick up on, but knowing what happens, it's like, oh God, like they're so obvious, and there's so many things like hinting to things that happen in the other books in the series. And there's even things that I'm now picking up having read the Last Hours trilogy, or the first 2 books in that trilogy, Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, which is kind of like a sequel trilogy sort of to this series. There's a lot of things that connect, I feel like, to that series. Well, not a lot, but there's like a couple of things that I noticed. There's some more obvious things that are connections, but there's even one thing that I was like, this may connect to something that happens in the last book. Like this might be hinting at the outcome of something. And I know like why Cassandra Clare included this thing. It's hard to talk about without spoilers, but I understand why she included it in the context of like this story and these characters. But it's making me think that it maybe connects to characters in Chain of Thorns when that releases. I don't know. We will see. It might be clown hours. I might be overanalyzing it here, but it's just something to think about. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing little hints of things that are to come, and I'm just really excited to continue on with this trilogy. I know next month we're going back to the Mortal Instruments. This is when the kind of read-along gets a little funky, and we're going to be kind of bouncing between a lot of series. So we're going to be going back to the Mortal Instruments in May, and I'm like, kind of sad about it because I kind of wish we were just continuing on with this series, but we'll get there. It'll be something to look forward to. So yes, finish this. Just wanted to give some thoughts there, and I need to look and see what prompt this completed. I already forget. Yes, okay. So this completed the astronomy prompt. That's what it is. And that is a book at the top of your TBR. So yes, that is done. And now I'm going to be moving on to my next read. So I think I'm actually about to jump on a Zoom call with Darian. So I think I'm going to read while we Zoom, probably, while we chat. And I think I'm going to pick up The Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill. This is going to be such a cute, fun, wholesome graphic novel, and I cannot wait. I don't actually know what this one is particularly about. I think it is like a prequel to the Tea Dragon Society, which is the first one. And I'm still sad that I don't own this physically, but I will get it eventually. So I'm just going to be reading it through my library, but I'm so excited. It's going to be so cute, so fun. And after that, we will see, because I don't know if I'm going to do any more reading after that tonight. We'll see what ends up happening, but I don't know when me, Casey, and Darian are going to be picking up Pachinko. And my thing is, like, I feel like putting a buddy read on a TBR for a readathon and making sure we're all ready at times, and like also making sure that the book gets completed in time for a readathon, is a little tricky. So I might just change the book that I'm reading for that prompt and read Pachinko as a buddy read with Darian and Casey, just as a separate thing, not for the magical readathon. I already think I know what I might pick up instead for that prompt, but we will see. I don't know if I'm going to do any reading after the Tea Dragon Festival tonight, so I will definitely check in tomorrow with my thoughts on the Tea Dragon Festival as well as my next read. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update on my thoughts on Clockwork Angel now that I finished, as if, you know, we didn't all know that I was going to give it 5 stars. But yeah, I think I'm now going to jump on that Zoom call with Darian. It'll be fun to chat with the bestie. Very excited about it, and very excited to start the Tea Dragon Festival as well. Another prompt. Let me actually pull up the list because I can never remember what prompts I'm completing when I'm finishing books. So last night I ended up reading The Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill, and that was completing the shape-shifting class, and the prompt for that was to read a book with a creature with claws on the cover, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I have had 2 5 stars in a row. I know one was a reread, but I'm taking it. You know, I think I counted last night when I was on the Zoom call with Darian, and I think I've had 5 5-star reads this year out of like 32 books read. So that's not great. I wish I had more, but it's fine. But this was a 5-star. I just think that these books are so cute and so wholesome and have such good lessons, and also just like are so diverse. There's a lot of like sign language used in this graphic novel, which I thought was so cool to see, because like in the art you can see them signing, and like the text bubbles for when people were using sign language were slightly different, so you would know. And I just think that that's such a cool thing to include. I actually think I may have liked this one more than the first one. I gave both 5 stars, but I think there was a little bit more of a plot with this one. I mean, not really, it's mainly just cute, but I think there was a little bit more of a plot, and I just really love the characters, and it's just so cute. I also love the art style. I just adore the like colors and how cozy and magical the art feels. So yeah, absolutely 5 out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. So now I have completed 6 of the 7 classes for my career for this readathon, and I definitely think I'm going to switch out Pachinko for another book for my last read, because I'm doing the inscription class. That's what I have left, and the prompt for that is to read an intimidating book, and I've kind of talked about this throughout the vlog so far, but I don't want to put any pressure on the Pachinko buddy read with Casey and Darian. I want us to just be able to read it at our own pace and enjoy it and not have to worry about getting it done in time for the end of the month for the readathon, especially because like I don't know if Darian put Pachinko on her TBR for the readathon. I just don't want it to be a stressful thing. I just want to be able to enjoy reading it with them. So I think I'm going to switch it out with something else, and I think I have figured out what I'm going to read. I'm going to go and grab the book. So I feel like whenever I think of an intimidating book, I always think of a book that is like chunky and gonna be dense in some way, whether that's because of the content or the genre or whatever it is. But I've kind of decided I don't think I should start a huge chunky fantasy or something in the last week of the readathon, because I just know I'm not gonna be able to finish it. We have a little over a week left of the readathon, but I just don't think realistically, knowing certain things that are gonna be going on next week, and also like Heartstopper is coming out tomorrow and things like that, I just don't think I'd be able to finish it in time for the readathon, and if I did, I just would be stressed about finishing it. So I've decided to go with a bit of a shorter, probably quicker read, but it's intimidating in a different way. So I think I'm going to pick up One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is a romance, and I know that there's like some magical element to it where this girl meets another girl on the subway, and I don't know, August meets Jane. Those are the names. And Jane is like stuck on the subway from the 70s, I think. And the reason this is intimidating to me is because I've seen some mixed reviews of this book. I have seen some like more positive, like 4 and 5 star reviews, but I have seen a lot of not so great reviews either. And I know Darian did not enjoy this book. Me and Darian don't always feel the same about books, but I will say I think a lot of the time we feel similarly, like we'll give books kind of within a star rating of each other. So I'm a little concerned if she didn't like it, if I'm gonna like it or not. I don't know. I've been putting off reading it since it came out. I bought this like right after it came out. This was me being spontaneous. This is why I'm not spontaneous, because I've been scared to read it. I was at the bookstore. I think I was already buying Malibu Rising when I was there, and I saw this and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. Why not? And then after buying it, I started seeing a lot more mixed reviews, some negative reviews start rolling in, and I haven't picked it up because I've been scared to read it. I've been scared that I'm not going to enjoy it. So, haven't read it. It's been on my TBR probably since last summer now, since it came out, and I've been a little intimidated to pick it up because of the mixed reviews. So, that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm nervous, but we'll see. Hopefully it's fun. I mean, the fact that it's a romance is a good thing because I've been very much in a romance mood this year, so maybe it'll be fine. I also just love this cover. I think this cover is so cute. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think this is going to be what I read instead because I think I'll be able to fly through this and then not have to worry about getting everything done, all the prompts done for the readathon. So yeah, this is going to be my next read. I don't know when I'm going to pick it up because I don't know, if I'm going to feel like reading later today. And then tomorrow is Heartstopper Day. It is Heartstopper Eve currently. And I have a feeling I'm going to spend the day tomorrow watching Heartstopper because I'm probably just going to marathon the whole show because I have no self-control. So it'll be fun. But I don't know how much reading will be happening, probably until the weekend maybe. But yeah, that is my plan. I now only have one prompt left to complete and I'm very excited about it. I was a little nervous picking a 7 prompt career because I was like, don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I think I'm going to be able to. Happy Heartstopper Day, everyone. I'm so excited. I'm going to open up Netflix right now and get it started. I think today I'm just gonna spend the day watching Heartstopper. That's my plan. That's it. The episodes are only like a half hour long, which I think makes sense. I think if they were longer, I just don't think there'd be enough content for there to be longer episodes. So it probably won't take me that long because there's only 8 episodes. So I don't think it'll take me that long to watch. Oh, it came up. Oh my God. There it is. Wow. Can you believe that it's finally here? Okay, I'm gonna just start watching it. That's it. That's my update. I haven't done any reading. And now we're on Heartstopper lockdown, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yes, you're over there. Mr. Nicholas Nelson. He's in year 11, so only 1 year older than you.
Actually play against other teams when I was
Why am I crying?
Run in PE, and we're interested. I don't really
Why?
Come on. I'm going to die. Well done, Well, it's not like anyone else is going to want to go out with you, is it? Charlie, look, I like you, but I'm figuring stuff out. Literally, what more do you want from me? I told you to stop.
Nick, best boy.
Don't say it. I kind of want to say it. Don't. It's homophobic, Harry. I really don't like you. Happy birthday.
Nick, best boy. Part 2.
Sorry.
I love them. Why am I crying? I'm fine. Did he just call him old?
Yeah. You're just gonna assume they're a she.
Oh no. Boo. Tomato, tomato. Okay, I am halfway through Heartstopper already. That's kind of the downside of the episodes being so short. I'm gonna be done with this very quickly. I have a feeling though that this will be the type of thing that I just start right back at the beginning because this is just so cute and I'm overwhelmed. I feel the exact same way watching the show as I do when I read the graphic novels, where it's just so cute and happy and just makes me like I can't explain it other than like cuteness aggression when you just have to like squeeze something because you're so overwhelmed with how cute something is. I'm having those exact same feelings watching the show, and I've also cried like multiple times. Also, because it's so cute, there have been some more emotional things that are making me cry, but it's mostly just been like really wholesome, cute things that are making me cry, but it's fine. I just think that they've captured the graphic novel so well, and the feelings that the graphic novel and the story itself and the characters and everything make me feel, they've captured that perfectly, and I love it so much. They definitely added a little bit more drama, I would say, to the show, which Alice Oseman said that they were going to do, which I think does make sense and I think would make it a little bit more like engaging and make people who maybe haven't read the graphic novels want to keep watching and see what happens. So I think it makes sense, but like it still has just those great vibes. It's so wholesome. I'm just so happy. I think this is the happiest I've been all year. I don't know what has made me happier, to be honest. I think I have peaked, honestly. Like, this is giving me the biggest serotonin boost, which is what the graphic novels do. Also, let's discuss the soundtrack for this show because it is top tier. There have been a few songs, like I heard the beginning of the song that's playing at the start of episode 5, and I know that song, I love that song, it's a great song. And there's also been some other songs throughout the show that I already know and think are great and capture the moments in the show well, but there's also been a lot of songs that I have not known, and they made a playlist for all of the songs in the show on Spotify. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But it's such a great playlist. It's such a great soundtrack. They did an excellent job. I think Alice Oseman said that they picked certain songs for certain scenes. Like, I think they said that they picked the snow day song that plays. It's so good. Everything about it is perfection. And I'm just so happy. But now it's a little before 1. I think I'm going to have some lunch. We had Thai food last night, so I'm gonna reheat my leftovers and then just continue watching because I thought about stopping for a little bit and then watching the second half later on today to make it last a little bit longer, but I just can't. I can't do it. It's just making me so happy, and I just want to keep feeling this much joy. So I'm going to keep going, but I am going to reheat my lunch and then proceed. I'm seriously just thriving right now. This is so good. LOL jokes, I'm back. I just was reheating my lunch, and while I was doing that, I remembered something else I wanted to say, and that is that there's a new character named Isaac who's been introduced in the show, and first of all, love him. What a mood. He's just reading in every situation, which, same. But at one point, they have him reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and can I just say, the taste? Whoever, made that happen, you're mine. That was just great to see, because that's one of my favorite books. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to watching the show and eat my lunch.
I'll be fine. I don't think I've ever been in this direction. Oh, I love you.
Well, I finished. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with myself now. I can't believe I waited a year for that show to come out, and I watched all of it in 4 hours. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just start it from the beginning. Yeah, if my excessive amounts of tears and laughter and clapping wasn't making it obvious, that was excellent. 10 out of 10. I I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just, like I was saying earlier, it captured what makes the graphic novels so special and makes them so special to me and so many other people. They captured that so well in the show. Like, it literally felt like I was watching the graphic novels come to life, which I know, like, essentially, yeah, that's what an adaptation is. But, like, sometimes the shows or movies that are inspired by books are not similar, or they just don't get the vibes right. I hate to use the word vibes. I really wish I could stop saying it, but I can't. But sometimes it's just not the same, or it's changed, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes it's different. But it just looked like they literally took the graphic novels and made it a real thing. I don't know. I don't know how to speak right now. I literally just finished like 5 minutes ago. I made myself stop crying, and now here we are. I don't know. It was so good. So special and just done so well. All of the actors in it were incredible. I loved seeing all of the other characters, like all of the friendships and all of the other relationships and things kind of starting in this first season, and I really do hope that there is a second season. I just want to see the whole story come to life. It was just so special, and I feel like so many people are going to watch it and it's going to mean a lot to them. And I can't think about that because it's going to make me cry again. Anyways. But yeah, if it wasn't obvious, I highly recommend watching the show, reading the graphic novels as well, but the show was incredible. So good. I don't know what to do with myself now. I just went through a lot of emotions in a very short period of time. Do I just reread all of Heartstopper now? Do I just start the show from the beginning? That honestly, I might be doing that. I just can see this becoming such a like comfort watch for me and probably a lot of people. I'm the type of person that I tend to just rewatch things all the time, and especially like those comfort shows that I know just are going to be easy to watch and just going to be so nice to just have on like in the background. And this is definitely going to be one of those shows like I said, already want to start it over from the beginning. I honestly, genuinely might. I'm going to take a break because I just had a lot of emotions, but I can honestly see myself rewatching it or like starting to rewatch it again tonight. But I need to stop crying long enough for me to rewatch it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about it. I was so excited for the show, and it was so good and even better than I think I was anticipating. Like, it looked good from all the trailers and things, and as we were getting more behind the scenes photos and the trailers, I was getting more and more excited, but I feel like it exceeded my expectations. It was so good, and I needed to be able to yell about it, but that's it. Let me know if you've watched it and your thoughts. Please talk to me about it, because this is gonna be my entire personality for probably months.
I'm not looking the favour. I'm an ally. Congratulations. We thank you for your service.
Oh, do you like this girl?
Well, a dog died.
Not funny.
It is now that time where I wrap up this vlog, and I do have some reading updates, surprisingly. I think we all should be proud of the fact that I even managed to read anything at all this weekend, because My brain was completely consumed by Heartstopper. Yesterday, I finished my third watch of the show. I am completely fine mentally. Everything's fine. But yeah, basically, if I wasn't watching the show this weekend, I was listening to the soundtrack because the soundtrack for the show is incredible. I know I already said it, but it's so good. And also, like, watching, like, interviews with the cast, like, it's just, we have been on Heartstopper lockdown over here. I don't know what to tell you. But, like I said, I did manage to do some reading, so imagine that. So I actually did start One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I don't know if I've talked about this since I started it. I think I said I was about to start it, but never actually any thoughts on it. So I did officially start. I am on page 146. I put a little post-it for a little goal for myself yesterday because I wanted to read, but I also wanted to watch Heartstopper. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make myself a little goal with the post-it to help motivate myself to read, and then could continue on watching Heartstopper. But yeah, I'm like almost 150 pages in, and so far I feel fine. It's fine. I think August, who is the main character, she's the one we're in the perspective of, I don't dislike her, but I don't really like her either. I don't really feel much of anything. I feel like a lot of the side characters to me are a lot more interesting than she is, and I don't know, it's fine. That's really it. I don't really have many thoughts. It's just fine. I'm definitely not like hating it. Like, I thought I was not going to like it because of the kind of mixed, average / negative reviews of this book. I know there's been a lot of like 4 and 5 stars, like a lot of people have liked this, but I think the more mixed reviews were kind of making me a little nervous. I thought that I wasn't going to enjoy it, but I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it, but I'm not like, I don't know, like it's fun so far. I'm having an okay time. I just think like the other characters, like the people that August is living with and like another person in the apartment, I think that they're just a lot more interesting than August. I don't know. I feel a little bit more intrigued by their characters, so we'll see. So far, it's fine. But yeah, that's gonna actually be it for this vlog. I can't believe we're almost at the end of the month, the end of the readathon. I have 1 book left. We have like a little under a week left, so I think I will be able to do it if Heartstopper just doesn't continue to take over my life, which it will. But I will try and do some reading in the next week and hopefully get everything for the readathon done. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's vlog, which will be the final vlog for the magical readathon. Bye.